Hello, it's 9 p.m. in RTD. It's time to English New Edition. For tonight headlines, we have the meeting of chief doctors and senior nurses on improving the provision of medical care and services. For the national scene, in Chad, launch of the vaccination campaign against COVID-19. Welcome to our newsroom. The Minister of Interior, Said Nuh Hassan, received yesterday morning a courtesy visit from the UNHCR representative, Yohandam Kol Sekor, accompanied by his colleagues, Mr. Samia Abdul Karim and Deqa Hassan, respectively, national protection officers and communication reporting assistants. The meeting took place in the presence of the Executive Secretary of UNHCR, Mr. Hussein Hassan Darar. The two personalities discussed various topics of common interests. The UNHCR representative gave a glowing pictures of the reception and socio-economic inclusions of the refugee in Djibouti. The Minister of Interior, Said Nuh Hassan, then received a courtesy visit from the resident representative of the International Organization for Migration, Ms. Stephanie Devio. The meeting took place in the presence of the Secretary General, Mr. Siraj Umar Abdul Qadir. The two personalities discussed various topics of common interest. The International Organization for Migration representative congratulates the Djiboutian Authority for the action taken in the collaborations with International Organization for Migration to assist migrants. The Minister of Health, Dr. Ahmed Robli Abdillah, brought together all the chief doctors and senior nurses of the community health centers and polyclinics to discuss the improvement of health care provision and medical services. The meeting took place in the presence of the Secretary General of the Health Department, Dr. Saleh Benoita Turab, and the Minister's close collaborator. As a former practitioner, the Minister of Health, Dr. Ahmed Robli Abdillah, told the August Assembly of Health Workers that he is well aware of the obstacles and delays that can hinder the proper functioning of their health center. In this regard, the Minister of Health reassured the health workers that he will be at their side to act together and to instill a new dynamic for a rapid and sustainable development at all levels of the health pyramid. The chief doctors and head nurses of the community health centers showed their determination to accompany and support the new roadmap by their firm commitment to move forward. The Minister of Infrastructure and Equipment, His Excellency Hassan Muhammad Arbahim, visited yesterday the Djibouti Railway Company located in Nagad. He was accompanied by several members of his cabinet, including technical advisor and directors. On his arrival at Nagad station, the minister was welcomed by the Deputy Director General of EDR, Mr. Hassan Mohammed Kamil, the Director General of the Djibouti Railway Company, Mr. Mahmoud Roble Dabar, as well as the senior Chinese officials of the management company. After the visit of the offices to apprehend the working environment of the agents, the minister was able to visit the different departments such as dispatching, ticketing, communication, and the minister thanked all the railway workers for the welcome he received, and the visit ended with the traditional family photo. For her first visit to institution under her supervision, the new Minister of Women and Family, His Excellency Muna Osman Aden, visited today, 6 June 2021, successively the Gender Observatory and the Center for Social Actions and Empowerment of Women, CASAF. This visit was part of the Minister's contact tower with the various bodies under her ministry. The discussions enabled the new minister to get a feel for the reality of the work of these departments. The minister was accompanied by the Secretary General, Ms. Anissa Hassan Bahdoun, and technical advisor of the ministry. Her tour started at the Gender Observatory, which is the monitoring and decision-making body for gender-related policies. The minister had a fruitful exchanges with the director of the observatory, Ms. Shukri Hussein Jibaha. The minister Muna Usman Aden, accompanied by the Secretary General of the minister and technical advisor, continued her tours at Kazaf, a center for social actions of women. The delegation was warmly welcomed by the director of the center, Ms. Nima Yonis Hosh, and the entire staff of the centers. The minister began by visiting the different rooms, namely the administration, the daycare center, and different training units, and ended with a meeting with the staff of the center. In her speech, the Minister of Women and Family, Muna Usman Aden, specified the strategic orientation of the ministry while noting the tangible indicator. The minister stressed that it is important to put in place mechanism for collaboration with the other training and integration institutions for women in order to fulfill the mandate of the ministry. The Minister of Youth and Culture, Dr. Hibo Mumin Asowe, began her first contact tour on Sunday, June 6, 2021, accompanied by her advisor, Mr. Alwan Burhan and Hussein Duali. The Minister of Youth and Culture, Dr. Hibo Mumin Asowe, made a first contact visit first to the National Library. First to the National Library archives, and then finally to Oda, where she received a warm welcome from the staff in three public cultural institutions at the National Library and Archives. As part of this contact tour, the Minister of Youth and Culture, Dr. Hibo Mumin Asowe, paid a contact and information visit to the General Directorate of the National Library and Archives. In a friendly atmosphere, the acting Director General of the National Library and Archives, Mr. Ged Hassan Elmi, and the entire staff gave a warm welcome to the Ministers of Youth and Culture and her staff. The Minister of Youth and Culture, Dr. Hibo Mumin Asowe, underlined during her briefing visit to the National Library the need to combine the efforts of all the directorate, programs, projects, services under the ministry for the success of the missions devolved to the department and for the realizations of the hope and aspirations of citizens through the national territory. Still on her first visit to the institution under her supervision, the Minister of Youth and Culture, Dr. Hibo Mumin Asowe, also visited IDAC. Today, a crowd of the country's artists gave the new Ministers of Youth and Culture a warm musical welcome. The Director General of IDAC, Ms. Nabiha Mumin Wabiri, accompanied by the Director, Mr. Abu Bakr Farid, and the Director, Mr. Sahal Hussein Darar, welcomed the Minister of Youth and Culture, Dr. Hibo Mumin Asowe. At the end of this contact visit, the Minister of Youth and Culture visited the different departments and services of the general management, in particular the music, plastic arts training rooms. The minister was given information on the new musical instrument, namely solfeggio, guitar, piano, saxophone, and also a traditional and modern dances and plastic arts, which are an integral part of the training curricula of the General Directorate of Arts and Cinema. In a meeting that the Minister of Youth and Culture, Dr. Hiba Mumin Asowe, had with all the artistic advisors, she stressed the importance and the essential role of artists and called for the strengthening of the necessary capacity for cultural production. The minister urged the need for teamwork hand in hand and to move forward in order to achieve the expected objectives of the Department of Culture and the coordination of efforts for the conservation and promotion of culture and arts. To conclude her tower contact, the Minister of Youth and Culture, Dr. Hiba Mumin Asowe, visited the Copyright and Neighboring Right Office, ODA, is a young institution created in 2015 whose mission is to protect intellectual works and collect the distribute royalties to beneficiaries and right holders. Welcomed by the acting Director General of the Offices of Copyright and Neighboring, Mr. Idris Musa Ahmed, and staff of the ODA, the Minister of Youth and Culture, Dr. Hiba Mumin Asowe, immediately seized the opportunity to commend the efforts made to protect works of art. The Director General of ODA, Mr. Idris Musa, explained the major advances in the legal evolutions of the protection of intellectual works. Taking advantage of this opportunity, the Minister of Youth and Culture highlighted the important role of protecting and promoting artistic and literary works. This contact and information visit to the copyright and neighboring right offices was also marked by the signing of the office's guest book. A handover ceremony took place yesterday, Sunday, 6 June, at the mediator offices of the Republic between the outgoing mediator, Dr. Qasim Isaac Osman, and the incoming mediator, Mumin Ahmed Sheikh. The mediator of the Republic is an independent personality who receives complaints from citizens concerning the functioning of state and administration, decentralized institution, public establishment, and anybody is interested with a public service missions in their relations with the citizens. The mediator of the Republic does not replace the court. The handover ceremony was attended by several senior officials of the public administration. The outgoing mediator, Dr. Qasim Isaac Osman, welcomed his successor, Mumin Ahmed Sheikh. On his side, the new mediators of the Republic, Mumin Ahmed Sheikh, thanked Dr. Qasim Isaac Osman for the work done during these years at the head of this institution. For his part, the new mediator of the Republic, Mumin Ahmed Sheikh, has thanked the former boss of these institutions for his efforts made for the citizens. He specified that the mediator of the Republic is an independent personality who receives complaints from citizens concerning the functioning of state administrations. The camp of Obok Joint Regiment Riao hosted yesterday very early in the mornings around 7 a.m. the ceremony of the 44th anniversaries of the armed forces under the command of the Colonel Major Adan Douale Warsama. This celebration was also attended by the Prefect of the region, Mr. Abdul Malik Muhammad Benoita, the President of the Regional Council, Muhammad Hamad Ismail, and the head of the local police gendarmerie detachment. The anniversary of 6 June is also an opportunity to assess the achievements of our armed forces during the past years through the assessment of the various actions accomplished. The anniversary of the creation of the Djiboutian armed forces represent for the military and their families a diversion emotions. This was followed by the reading of the message of good, which is addressed by the Chief of the General Staff of the Armed Forces, Zakaria Sheikh Ibrahim, to the officers, non-commissioned officers, and their families.
بشجهم بالخير لها طبيو لما تكوان صادقوا ربعنا وبرارها كوردها بشجهم بالخير لها طبيو لما تكوان صادقوا ربعنا وبرارها كوردها
اللهم اغفر لهم وارحم لهم وعاف عنهم واكرم منزلهم ووسع مدخلهم واغسله بالماء الثلج والبرد اللهم نقيه من الخطايا.
Ordre du jour du CMGA, officiers, sous-officiers et militaires du rang.
The camp of Arta Joint Regiment hosted yesterday morning the 44th anniversary ceremony of the Armed Forces under the command of Colonel Ibrahim Ali Farah. This celebration was also attended by the prefect of the region, Mr. Muhammad Sheikh Hassan, the president of the regional council, the heads of the local police and gendarmerie detachments. The anniversary of the 6th June is also an opportunity to evaluate the achievements of our armed forces during the past years through the assessment of the various actions accomplished. The anniversary of the creation of the Djibouti Armed Forces represent for the military and their families the reaching emotions.
ودرارتي باقي ورنتو أي بلا لقى حجابتي ولها بريسيقا برقدير المالا مدرارتي باهيو بلا لقى حجابتي ولها بريسيقا برقدير المالا
وأهلا خيرا من أهلهم وزوجا خيرا من زوجهم وأدخلهم الجنة وأعذهم من عذاب القبر. اللهم لا تحرمنا أجرهم ولا تفتنا بعدهم واغفر اللهم لنا ولهم ولجميع أموات المسلمين. الفاتحة لهم.
شجون وبعيدكينا وبوددينا وبوددينا بشجون.
The camp of Dakhil Joint Regiment hosted yesterday morning the ceremony of the 44th anniversary of the Armed Forces under the command of Colonel Idris Umar Aliye. This celebration was also attended by the prefect of the region, Mr. Adan Musa Darar, the president of the regional council, Mr. Abdurrahman Yunus Are, and the head of the local police gendarmerie detachment. The anniversary of the 6th June is also an opportunity to evaluate the achievements of our armed forces during the past years through the assessment of the different actions accomplished. The anniversary of the creation of the Djibouti Armed Forces represent for the military and their families the rich in emotions. The Djibouti Table Tennis Federation closed last Saturday the activities of the 2020-2021 sports season. The final of the team championship was opposite between the team of the Gendarmerie and the team of the Coast Guard. Both teams showed a very good performance, with each team showing their ability to outplay the others. At the end of the match, the Coast Guard teams won the matches, which is also qualifies them for the National Table Tennis Championship for the 2020-2021 season. The closing ceremony of the National Table Tennis Championship was attended by the top officials of both teams, who did not fail to thank the tennis federations for their efforts in the success of organization of this national championship. For the international scene, Chadian lined up to receive their first dose of COVID-19 vaccine in the capital N'Djamena as the country launched its vaccination campaign. The campaign was officially launched on Friday after the Ministers of Health and other members of the ministry received their first doses of the Sinopharm vaccine. As a result, Chad is prioritizing pilgrims, the over 65 years health workers, and the military first. Chad is one of the last countries in Africa to launch its vaccination campaign against COVID-19. The authorities received donations of Chinese vaccines during the week in Chad. Less than 5,000 official cases have been recorded, and COVID-19 has killed 174 people since the beginning of the pandemic. This is it for the news. Thanks for watching us. Have a good evening.